was long dead. Winter's chill had settled in the bone. Another name unsaid, a silent statue, blind and made of stone. But thawing ground gives way to sleeping roots. A whispered tip, a forgotten clue. Dusting off the long forgotten suits, a single thread to pull the story through. The spring equinox brings the scales to bear. Justice marches, truth takes to the air. From frozen silence, a triumphant sound. The verdict's written on the waking ground. The witness stand, a garden newly tilled. Each memory a seed now forced to grow. The web of lies so carefully distilled begins to fray, the hidden colors show. The spring equinox brings the scales to bear. Justice marches, truth takes to the air. From frozen silence, a triumphant sound. The verdict's written on the waking ground. The blindfold lifts, the sword is raised, no shadow left, the price is paid. The verdict's written on the waking ground. Justice marches, justice marches. Renewal comes with the turning tide, and in the spring there's nowhere left to hide.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I am so happy to see everyone here. I know that I just got a message. Holy crap. It always happens when I start a stream. Hello, every single one of you beautiful people. Do me one huge favor as you jump in here. Go and hit the thumbs up. We are going to have an amazing stream like we always do, and I'm so thankful that I'm here. I am your host, Phoenix, and this is Phoenix Talks. If you have never seen a live of mine, I am honored for you to be here. If this is your first time, let us know. I see a lot of OGs in the house, and get this. This community right here that we've built shows up for one reason, and that is to find the truth. Now, I do make mistakes. I'm human, but I will always correct them. Why? Because we challenge the narratives. We challenge what they have tried to sell us. I don't know about you, but I'm keeping my hard-earned money. We demand clarity in the IDAHO4 case and other cases, and we never stop asking questions. If that sounds like you, welcome home, and thank you for being part of that mission. See, we're here for the truth. There are no shortcuts. There's no blind trust. I've built this channel with integrity. And if you are part of Phoenix Talks and this is your home, I truly appreciate all the support and the love and the community that we've built here. If that's you, drop a 1. I'm curious to see how many people are really here for the right reasons. I'm sure there's a lot of looky lures, and if you are trolling, just keep scrolling. We don't have time for it today because I've got a lot to share with you. Now, we're going to talk about some crazy things, but first, I am feeling much better. I don't know, obviously, many of you know that I struggled with food poisoning about 5 weeks ago. It just reared its ugly head about 2 weeks ago, and it just hit me like a bomb a few days ago. And obviously, no matter how alkaline I try to make myself, this bacteria just doesn't want to go away. So I apologize for not being here this morning. I did visit with family and celebrate another family's birthday in our family. So I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Miss seeing you here yesterday, but I am revving to go. So do me a favor. If you're ready to get into what I have to share today, and we are going to, hindsight's 2020, guys. I'm going to welcome you all in. Drop a 1 if you're ready to get into this because, dude, what the F? That's that's what Bethany told DM according to the court documents. I've got my banner up for legality purposes, and I'm going to welcome every single one of you in here. Inked Mama, welcome in. Susie Little B, I love your name. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Art Seagal, love it. Let's effing go. That's what I say today. Sharon, welcome in. Donna Rosa, Becca, Angelique, Misinformation, Amanda B, welcome everyone in the chat. Feel free to go ahead and hit the like button on your way in. Appreciate that. Becky, good to see ya. And we've got a couple of other peoples. Thank you for hitting that like button. Hello, Les. Good afternoon. Good to see ya. Good to see you. There are so many OGs in the house. So let's do this, guys. Rebecca, good to see you. Gypsy, good to see you. Wow. I don't know where all these came from. All right. 111. I see everybody is welcome. England. DW Brit City. Nice name. I love it. Caleb's in the house. And England. I love it. Welcome in. It's got to be, what is it? Hot there? Is it summer yet? Oh, you were hospitalized with salmonella once. Hopefully that's all you got. Once is enough. I'm telling you, I narrowed it down to what it is. The doctor was shocked. I had to see her this morning and had to do some testing real quick. And hopefully they give me some good news and not bad news. So I don't know what to do. I've done everything. Lauracetin, olive oil, oregano oil, coconut water, kefir, probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics. I mean, I could go on and on, but let's get into this today. There's 68 of us here. Go ahead and hit that like button. Swipe down, swipe up. Is it swipe up, swipe down? And then hit the thumbs button. And I'll tell you, it's spring over there. Gorgeous. It's spring in. Yes, absolutely love it. So it's spring in England. I'm sure it's gorgeous. I've always wanted to go to the tulip fields. So I know that there's some in England. I know there's some in obviously Holland. I finally got a live stream. Well, I'm glad to. I love that. Stay wild, Moonchild. Shield Maiden 44, welcome in. I know you had said that maybe you were on the replay crew. Good to see you, Veronica. Hey, Jane, welcome in. Hello, hello. All right, let's do this today. So we're going to talk about these texts. Hindsight's 2020. Good to see you, Les. Jane. Hindsight is 2020, especially in the IDAHO4 case. If you guys agree, drop a heart below because this is huge. We never saw Maddie and Kaylee's phone calls and text, right? We never saw them other than Kaylee and Maddie tried to call a guy named Jack multiple times that night. Don't know which Jack it was. Even Jack, the 17-minute phone call with Jack, said he didn't remember in his interview. Kind of dumbfounded us. What do you mean? 17-minute phone call and you don't remember? I'm sure there's a lot of guys named Jack. Guys, look at how many people in this case are named Jack, right? Jack Decor, you got John Jack Showalter. I mean, there's probably a ton of Jacks out there. Tons. And the calls and the text between Maddie and Kaylee were right before the murders. That's what they said, like right before. So if this crime happened at 4, how can these texts that have been said that called right before these murders actually be the time frame? And here's what people ask. Were they scared? Was something happening? Or was it just a normal late night calling? Because here's the deal. Everything is timing. Everything. Timing is everything, and everything is timing. Were they calm? Was it normal behavior? Were they panicked? Could suggest that maybe something was wrong? I mean, think of a time, if you've ever had this happen to you, that you were in a panic and you needed to call 911 or perhaps call a friend. Hey, Lulu Bell, good to see ya. Yep, tip your mods Tuesday for Monday because we weren't here Monday. We have not seen any text at all in full other than what was put on the court record. And this is what was put on the court record. And it's always bothered me when DM text Goncalves, why didn't they just put Kaylee? It's always bothered me. Always bothered me. No clarity there. And yeah, dog want to go out, but I'm listening. Now you have to think about this for 1 second here. Why have we never seen Kaylee in Maddie's text or phone calls? We don't have full transcripts that are public. That's the catch. There's a huge gap. But this is where things get very controversial. And oh, brother, let me tell you. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of these texts. Now that we've seen some new footage, now that we understand a little bit more about how the officers were responding to what was happening, now we understand a little bit better, perhaps, what indeed was going on during this time frame. Officially in the court record, yeah, and these texts have always been unsettling to me too, because they're excerpts. We don't know if they're in the right order, but the state said from 422 to 424. That's just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And think about this for a second. Here's the big question. What exactly were the texts before and after this? Because this is the timeline the state has said. Remember, 417 is from the get-go of where they started calculating that this occurred. A thud, the dog. Remember, everyone, I mean, the news media, the law enforcement. I'm just going to bring up this video. It was in the Idaho Statesman. The Idaho Statesman is the one that got the actual video of the IDAHO4 creeper, right? The video. They got the video and they released it, the night cam. And that is where this all started, the timeline. Was this the easiest timeline that they picked out and the text? What are your thoughts? Do you think they just picked out a timeline based on these texts alone? They believed Dylan. They believed Bethany. I mean, in my humble opinion, these two should have been pulled to the side and interrogated, not interviewed. That's my humble opinion. And you have your opinion. You can definitely state what you feel. But in my humble opinion, this text set the tone where they could best fit in. DM's phone was going to die, more than her phone. And this is the point I'm about to make. She said her phone was about to die. What? all this sketchy crap happening, the Idaho Statesman. I've played this a lot. Let me pull this video because I want to show you something. Something that does not make sense to me. Just one more thing. And the security footage that they say starts at 4:15 in the morning, that faithful morning, I'm going to go and pull up and get it ready for you at that time. This is what they tell us. This is the security footage at 4:15. After DoorDash leaves at 4, I want to go to 4:17. Now, I know this is a far stretch on their behalf, but you know what? It is what it is. And this is what we're looking at. Sounds and all. Murphy starts barking. Now, we've been told that that's Murphy. We've been told that that was Murphy. Then they tell us, remember, this was the first video ever out there before Jules got hold of the video. Shortly after that time, muffled audio can be heard of what sounded like voices or a whimper, followed by a loud thud. That's the affidavit. That's accurate. That's what they wrote in there. The security cam was less than 50 feet away from the west wall. So Xana, we all agree that Xana was the west wall. Who else was the west wall? The empty room on floor 1, Xana on floor 2, and Kaylee on floor 3. West rooms. Does everybody have that visual in their head? If not, I'll grab a visual. So Kaylee at the top, then Xana, then the empty spare bedroom. There's the thud or whatever it was. Dog again. Okay, this is what we were told. Now, I agree, whoever just said that it sounded like noise and cleanup and moving of things, that is possible. That is very possible. But remember, we have not seen the actual all this before. So let's go line by line. No one, this is Dylan to Bethany. No one is answering. Dylan to Bethany. I'm really confused right now. DM to Goncalves. I don't know which Goncalves. They should have just put Kaylee so we didn't have to speculate. Maybe that's someone else, right? Maybe she was texting any Goncalves. We don't know. And then Bethany to DM states, yeah, dude, WTF. But remember, Bethany, per the court records, was the one to call DM first and say, hey, what's going on? I saw a flash or a firecracker or something like that. What's going on? Now, BF to DM said Xana was wearing all black. This basically indicates that Bethany saw Xana. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is firsthand witnessing that Xana was wearing all black. That means Bethany physically saw Xana wearing all black. Did Bethany think that Xana was wearing all black? Is that even possible? Let's think about this for a minute. Everything that we've been told, forget it. Forget all the gaslighting from the G family that we've been told. Forget that too. Forget it. I'm sure they did some dog testing and all that stuff. I'm sure that they looked at, Murphy's barking, or hopefully they benchmarked something. I hope so. But this indicates exactly what I was thinking, that Bethany saw Xana. She saw Xana. She says she saw Xana wearing all black. This is just 5 minutes after the 4:17 when you hear the thud. Because we're going to break this down in layers. Like, I'll explain it like you're 5 years old. These texts are basically two roommates. We see Dylan and Bethany saying, something weird is happening. I'm scared. Come here. Let's stay together. That's the simple version. Here we go. Here we go. That's the simple message. And Zachary, I'm beginning to think that something is not right. Obviously, if Brian didn't do this, and Jack didn't do this, and Dylan or Bethany didn't do this, who the heck did this? Who the heck did all this? Who had time to do this, and what time was it? I'm going to show you some things that are going to blow your mind today. So let's think about this for a minute. No one's answering. They're trying to contact others in the house. Something feels off, right? That's what that tells us. Yeah, yeah, dude. WTF. Xana's wearing all black. I'm freaking out. So why mention Xana's clothing? Does anybody remember what they found in the washer and the dryer? I thought she couldn't spell it. Think about this for a minute. If Xana was wearing all black because Bethany saw her, that indicates Bethany saw her. Can I get a 1 if you're with me on this? Because how could Bethany say Xana was wearing all black? That means that Bethany was outside of her room. Her door was open, maybe. She was in the bathroom. Who knows? Black clothes were found in the washer and dryer, and that is in evidence. Exactly, Becca. She said she saw Xana on the floor during her interview in a sweatshirt and underwear. Correct. Correct, Les. Now you guys are getting it. We've already seen these millions of times. Is there anything new? Welcome to the nest, where we think differently. We're asking the questions, and like I said before, hindsight is 2020. Now these texts are making more sense. If you already have all the knowledge, Arson Dragon 79, feel free to go ahead and scroll on out. But if you don't know what we talk about here, and if you've never seen my stream, hang around a little bit and learn some. So hey, Peony's in the house. So let's think about this for a second. So that means that they knew Xana was, well, at least Bethany knew she was wearing black. They found black clothes in the washer and dryer. And that suggests that she either saw someone that they thought it was her, that she saw her, or something about the appearance stood out at the moment. But how could Bethany see Xana if she was downstairs in her room watching baby daddy eating chips with a toothache? Okay? Logically, how could she text firsthand and say Xana was wearing all black? Then DM says, I'm freaking out right now. And this is crucial. This is crucial because what does Dylan say next? No, it's like ski mask almost. These are like fragmented text. They don't go together. They don't mesh well. It's like making peanut butter and jelly, but you leave off the jelly and you throw some bananas and some cashews on there, some spinach and some turkey, and it's like a sandwich. That's not a sandwich, guys. I'm just explaining this tiny little bits. Well, good. I'm glad that you've been here, Heaps. Arson, Dragon 79. Now, Caleb, honestly, every time I turn around, there's always something new to this case. Well, it's because it's hindsight is 2020. Now that we've seen more of the kitchen sink sandwich, yeah. Now that we've seen more of the videos that have been released by the body cams, things start to fall into place. It's like pulling the cart before the horse gets the cart attached. That's the way we've been living. Everything that we think should be chaotic in this house is not. Everything that should be chaotic in this house is not. And I'm going to show you this. A kitchen sink sandwich is where you throw everything in the sandwich and you think it's good and it's not. Okay. So it is spinning the stories. Yes, the storyline that will fill out in the future. Exactly. Like all these missing pieces that don't fit, that don't make sense. I mean, think about it. ISP took, and I don't want to get vulgar or anything, they took anal swabs, vaginal swabs. They took all kinds of swabs on these 4 individuals. And you know what? We've never seen that addressed. We've never seen anything in results, comparison, autopsy, nothing. They have only given us probably, I would say, 10% of this actual case to view. But yet they still want us to believe that Brian Koberger is guilty when they have no evidence. And we're going to get to this next. No evidence, no DNA, FBI, ISP, MPD, nothing on Koberger, absolutely nothing. But yet, why does somebody who have absolutely nothing take a freaking plea deal knowing the evidence doesn't ever lead to him? Think about it. I would 100% go to trial. I have showed you some cases just in the last week that were simple, easy cases that has shown people go and get acquitted. Things that they've been accused of with circumstantial evidence get thrown out. Now, here's the deal. This guy is so intelligent. They have told us that he is so intelligent. He is so smart. He outsmarted everyone. Well, I think this case is pretty much trying to outsmart everyone too, in my humble opinion. To the fact that if Koberger knew he was innocent, why would he ever say, okay, I did it? Not file any PCR, not file any post-conviction relief, take a no plea sentencing, and basically say, I'll never appeal my case. I call bullshit. And yeah, there was never a mention of bushy eyebrows. The case was embellished. It was embellished for the emotional pull. All right. Thank you, Becky. Welcome on in. Seems that BF saw Xana dressed in all black. Then DM says, like a ski mask almost. So they saw the person. Where is the middle of this discussion? Numb's piece, Jill. Exactly. This are bits and pieces. Yep, the police mentioned it. Eyebrows. And I'm beginning to think that exactly what I put on my YouTube every single stream that I do. If you guys go and look at the description of any live that I've ever done, any video, here's the deal. I say this all the time. Right here. I'm going to share it with you so that you guys see what I'm saying. There's no clickbait in any of my creations, guys. Here it is. You decide where the truth ends and where the programming begins. The IDAHO4 case shocked the nation, but underneath the tragedy, questions still burn about truth, technology, and control. Was this a straightforward homicide investigation or a story shaped by media algorithms, genetic forensics, and AI-driven policing? Cover up, psyop. We uncover the hidden secrets in plain sight. Bam. That's all we do. We look at the evidence they give us and doesn't make sense. Thank you, Caleb. So here's what they basically said. The fragmented text. Description of a person. No, it's like a ski mask almost. Like he had something over his head and a little mouth. This is critical, don't you think? Don't you think this would be the alarming point? This would be the bells in my head going off like shit. If you're telling me that you've seen this and I've just witnessed this, I'm going to lock my door and I'm going to call 911. I'm going to get freaking help. Someone is in my house right now. It never made sense to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not supposed to make sense because it's supposed to keep you in a psychological state of confusion. I went over this the last stream. We went over all the evidence that doesn't match up. We went over tons of stuff because they want to continue to make you think confusion. Keep you in that never-ending loop that your brain is not able to rest. And if they can get enough of us doing that, by then all means. State of confusion, just like a couple of different cases that we look at. I think many of us would agree. And then you have things like, oh, so-and-so says so-and-so is so-and-so. And, make you question, is that true? What am I talking about? I'm talking about this.
So there's
State of Idaho v.
what tests are involved. So there's
State of Idaho v. Brian Koberger. Let's talk about Bethany Funk. It's been said that Bethany Funk is Sierra Windsor, but let's take a look today and see exactly who and where is Sierra Windsor. Just a simple little Google search has her in Seattle as a naturopathic doctor. And here is the proof and receipts as always. I'll be on the YT live later on today. We've talked about this before. There is a large debunking live that I've shared this in. And, logic, a little simple Google search can make a huge difference. You know the drill. Everyone be well.
Ferritin is your body's storage form of iron. Think of it as like the backup reservoir. And there's two main reasons why.
Oh, I got to mute that out real quick. And remember, we had a big old live about this. It was debunked a long time ago, but yet people still are out there sharing everything that had been debunked already. And it blows my mind how some people are out there just still saying, oh, not debunked. She's her. And they're trying to connect that drug angle still. It just blows my mind. But yeah, a lot of people, I thought from the beginning it was a psyop. We might be right, Tanya. You might be right. Nothing, the evidence doesn't add up. So we're at the point where Dylan has now confirmed that whatever Bethany is saying, Xana's wearing all black, I'm freaking out right now. No, it's almost like a ski mask. So then Dylan sees this individual, but it's not Xana. And then Bethany's like, STFU. And Bethany says to DM, actually, what? Actually, like he had something over his head with a little and mouth. So Dylan is now saying, okay, maybe it wasn't Xana, but I've seen somebody with the ski mask. What? Like a basketball player. Okay, she says that in the video, but I'm paraphrasing here. Now, this is where it's very confusing. This is where it gets really confusing. DM to BF. BF, I'm not kidding. Am so freaked out. So am I. I mean, some people are more freaked out and in shock. Yeah, Deb, I agree. I would have been more freaked out and shocked than what Dylan was. And they did nothing. Yeah, I agree that it doesn't look like her at all. I'm glad some people have keen eyes. A ski mask is very different. Absolutely. And you know that the Walmart person that they interviewed, you can go on Connor and you can go and look. And Connor is on YouTube. He has been getting, I don't know who Connor is. Everyone keeps asking me, who's Connor? I don't know who Connor is. If you look up Connor IDAHO4 on YouTube, it'll go right to him. And he is building a repository of the IDAHO4 case, of all the FOIAs that have been received. And you can go, and there is the video of Walmart, and you can go and look at the actual, it's redacted heavily, but here's the video. And you can go and look at that physical, let me drop the link below. Here's the link for Connor. You can go and you can see what kind of mask or ski mask, whatever you want to call it, they were looking for. This is redacted heavily. Yeah, the news. Frozen shock phase. Is that like a new something? I'm trying to... It's not going to give me nothing. But this is the video that you can see that they go and they do interview the Walmart associate that helped the young man,
Anything we had would just be right here.
Okay. So
the college age guy that comes in, that she described light skin.
asked for a black ski mask that would cover his face. Remember what he looked like?
Honestly, like,
I know.
Now, to me, it's like she's very hesitant to answer the police. Very hesitant. Why didn't they just go and ask for the video if it wasn't, but a couple weeks ago?
college dude.
Okay.
Like,
But just like college age, about.
part of me wants to say maybe he was wearing a beanie, but I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was...
Is he tall? Was he taller? Was he taller than you? Shorter?
Probably.
Okay.
A little bit taller.
Color hair, don't.
I would say like brown, because I feel like his eyebrows were probably brown too.
Is he white, black, Mexican?
I would say white, maybe a little tanner, but I don't think he was Mexican.
Okay. And you just told him that you guys didn't have
But
one?
if we had any, they'd be right here. And I looked on my phone, that was enough.
Okay.
So we can look on the out.
Okay.
Yeah, Caleb, you've got a really good point there. Walmart has 69,000 cameras. Yes, they do. Their camera system is very high tech. So why couldn't they just go and get the camera from when she's remembering it and take a look and think, well, maybe this was the guy. And then it could have recalled recollections, something of that nature, and then them be, oh yeah, this is the guy, right? So they could go ask him. Just like the professor in the MPD documents that remembers some student had this injury on the head, and then nothing ever became of that either. I mean, how many cops go in and ask, hey, somebody asked to buy a ski mask, and in the area they just had 4 unalived, right? Yeah, they might need a warrant for the video. Absolutely. Some Walmarts cooperate. Sometimes you don't need one. Now, why couldn't they just basically go and say, all right, now this is describing a masked individual, covered face, hiding, possibly only eyes and mouth. And then the police say in the interview with Dylan, what is Gooch, Vicky Gooch, she says, like a baklava. They put that in there. It wouldn't be hard to get one in this case. Absolutely. I agree. But I think they already knew that this was not the person they were looking for. So the masked individual, covered face, eyes and mouth visible, that aligns with the PCA description. But the real thing happening says mask woman. Was it Xana that was wearing all black with the ski mask? Or was this a masked man with the ski mask? But then Dylan says, well, it would look like a basketball player. You know, not really athletic, but tall, not really tall, but, and it doesn't make sense. This would be a freaking chaotic scene. All the lights are on. We know that for a fact. All the lights were on. Dylan running outside her room to go down to Bethany would have seen the blood on the table, would have seen maybe the blood on the walls, maybe seen, obviously, Xana on the ground covered in blood, correct? But she never says any of that, ever. And what's the last thing that comes to my mind about, I'm not kidding, oh, am so freaked out? Bethany says, so am I. These are fragmented texts to never make sense logically in real time. Because remember, this is supposed to be happening via text in real time. And real time is everything for a timeline. That phrase, I'm not kidding, I'm so freaked out, so am I, my phone is going to die, F. That is an emotional state. Fear is real now. No confusion anymore. They believe something seriously is happening. And then the crux. Dun, dun, dun. Get ready. All the securities go to a central hub. Oh, yeah, they do now with their new technology. They do. In the old days, they didn't. I had an ex-husband who did loss prevention, and they had local cameras. Nowadays, it all goes to one central location and offset probably by AWS. They got videos of Brian buying stuff. They did. But was it a mask and he was tan? I don't know. Xana is kind of, I think she's like 5'8", maybe. 5, I don't know. Let's look at a picture and I don't know exactly how tall she is. But let's look at a picture with her and all her friends. Let's see if I can find one standing up. And then we'll get an idea of how tall Xana is. Let's see. Xana, where are you at? It's got to be standing up with somebody. Yeah, I guess Xana is kind of short, though. I mean, she's about Bethany's height. Here's a picture of her and Bethany. So I think they're probably about the same height, somewhere in that, 5'8", maybe. Don't quote me because I don't know how tall Bethany is. I have no idea. but that looks about right. I mean, Maddie was a little bit taller, and Xana, in this picture, Maddie's much taller than Xana. So, I mean, you have to look at some pictures to kind of gauge how tall. I think I don't have any pictures with Xana and Dylan together, not standing up. There's one or two out there of them together, but not like tall. And this is all the group together. So, you know, maybe Xana's on her tippy toes, Dylan's leaning down. So Maddie, Kaylee, 5'5". Okay, so yeah, I was thinking they were about 5'3" to 5'5". Yeah, okay. So then you look at this question, and not the question, the text. And Dylan says, my phone is going to die. Duck. And instead of saying, plug it in, call 911, Bethany says, no, Dylan, come to my room. Come to my room where I can keep an eye on you, in my humble opinion. And then she says, run down here. Okay? Come to my room, run down here. Like, excitingly. Do it right now. Because I don't know what you're seeing up there. I don't know what you're hearing. And I need to control this. So come down here. That is my humble speculations. Okay? And here's the reason why. Dylan is not the one that called Bethany first. Bethany was the one to call Dylan. Bethany was the one that said, hey, come to my room. She's the one that brings up Xana was wearing all black. She's the one that says, hey. She let Dylan freak out. And then she was manipulating and controlling the situation. Think about this. Think about for one hot second. Why would somebody do that? Instead of saying, hey, by the way, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Call 911. My phone is going to die. Do me a favor. The phone is euphemism for a person. It could be. It could be. But why did she put F-U-C-K at the end of that? I'm old. It says, I've used dude referencing women before, but never bro. It's a young people. It's young people smack. That's the way they talk nowadays. Dylan is 5'10". So yeah, so Xana has to be somewhere in the 5'3", 5'4" area, I would say. And Ethan was pretty tall. I mean, there's some pictures of Ethan out there. And Xana. So I think Xana wearing black was code for, yeah. It could have been. It could have been. And let me show you what makes sense to me. Now, we're going to go back. We're going to go on a little adventure. And I'm going to take you back to the day of bedroom number 6. Okay? Hey, May Busy. We're going to go back to scroll the pictures that were deleted off of the internet by the ISP after they gave them to us. Okay? Remember, I got all 2790 of them while standing in line at Disneyland and had plenty of space on my phone. Now, even though I had tons of videos and my largest SD card was packed, I deleted some videos. Let's go and let's just scroll Dylan's bedroom, because now we know that it said, my phone is going to die. Frick. No, come to my room. Run. Down here. Well, where would she run to? Right, come to my room. All right, so we're going to just take a little stroll around Dylan's bedroom. And lo and behold, obviously she's got some electrical cords right over here plugged into the wall. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, she's messy, cluttered. Well, that's just how some people live. I grab that file, run through Adobe, and crack them all out of that PDF. Much easier to view. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'll probably do that. Thank you, Arson Dragon 79. I'll do that. Now, but what else do we see in this bedroom by the bed? Let's just take a little peek. Other than her journals and some notes and some other things they grabbed with these lavender sheets for evidence and all these other things, right? Lo and behold, over by her desk, there is an electrical cord. There is, oh, what's this? Let's zoom in a little bit more. Let's see what we can find here. That looks to me like a phone cord. Is that a phone cord right here in this picture, right in the center? Hopefully you can see my little cursor. Why would her phone be dying? She's in her room with her charger. Plug it in. Exactly. Exactly my point. Hello, hello, hello. Gotcha. All right. So let's go to the next one. Here's a picture of the actual drawer. What do we see in the drawer right here? A charger. A charger port that you plug into the wall, and then you see a cord. Okay, I get it. You know, when you're scared, you don't know what to do. But lo and behold, right in the drawer, you see the block and you see the cord right here. It was there all the time. It was there the whole time. Right there. Bam. Why didn't she just plug it in, lock her door, since she said she looked at it 2 or 3 times, and then plug that bad boy in? Now, I know that if she was scared, it probably wouldn't make sense, but there's the block and the cord was on the floor. Like, who wrote this story? Yeah, amen. Amen. I am starting to think that this was some script and some story with some political motivation background, in my humble opinion. But why are you always lying? Busted, guilty. How does that make you feel now after 3 years of thinking all this was actually real? Phoenix, we really need to show the G's these facts and evidence. Oh, hell no. What are they going to do? Gaslight us more? Because it's all made up. Who wrote this freaking script? And then you guys get my post the other day. What in the world are they talking about? A social experiment in the middle of a what? Of an investigation. Who in the world would actually say stuff like this on camera? Yes, it was there. It was right in front of us, right here. This was from the transcript of part 1, which is accidentally marked. It's actually part 2 on Connor's page. And the first priority is a long time ago, after social experiment, save the problem. Now, I don't know if some of these words in the closed caption was transcript correct, but I have downloaded the videos and I'm uploading them to listen better and fix these transcripts, because they are not correct. Some are not correct. But this social experiment and then some of the other things they were saying, two people in the house that live here, one's at the bottom apartment. She's going to the front door to the right. Now, that tells me that something was happening and perhaps Bethany stepped out of her room and she saw maybe somebody that she thought was Xana was wearing all black. Possible. Very possible. If we want to believe the story they have been sharing. And it does look like some of this stuff is absolutely, it does. Check out what Murphy said, y'all. He's seriously the only one we can trust is the dog, man's best friend. Yeah. Okay. So she's going to the front door to the right. The other one is on the main floor. This is what the cop is saying. Okay. I don't know if y'all seen these. This is the transcript from, I mean, not trying to solve anything. The case was solved, right? We're just trying to keep an open dialogue, trying to understand what happened. An open mind, an open discussion on new video, documenting the pictures, everything. This makes you say, whoa, what were we witnessing? Now what are we witnessing 3 years later? Okay. Oh, it's a frat house. It's a party house. It's a sorority house. The doors probably weren't even locked. That's what these cops are saying. Isn't it their job to investigate if the doors were locked? And this is the cop that says they all got home at different times, not pipes. They all got home at different times throughout the night. All of them, and which is factual, except we don't know when Ethan got home. We know that Xana wasn't home until after 2. And obviously they got the cast over at the fence line. And that murder-suicide. The cop he said, I heard it was a murder-suicide. But then after seeing, I don't think it could be. There's no possible way. But somebody told the cop it looked like a murder-suicide. Who was that? And if it was indeed, was it changed to look like something else? Those are the questions that we ask and we speculate. That is the question we're asking. Gideon on the arm, Gideon Roberts in the ISP, or some weird tied to the church out there. Could be anything. I mean, I've had some great feedback on some of the things that I've posted. If you guys don't watch the post, definitely watch the post. And this is starting to make sense to me and maybe make sense to you now that you know the story of JLR and Crime Scene Collective and a couple of other creators that have ducked out. Okay? I mean, stuff like this starts making sense when you know the background to most of these. Just like the allegations that he has. Well, the timeline follows. He fled Washington. He knew this was probably coming. And then he went to Arizona. Right? I mean, there's so much going on at once that it's exposed. It's exposed. So when you start looking at, some of these cases that have similarities or don't make sense, like these texts that are in a court repository, this is wild. Check out what Murphy said, Caleb. Love to hear it. What did Murphy say? Did somebody make a video? I'd love to see it. These cops said doors and keypads. Yep. I agree. Google it on YouTube. There is an older video of Murphy. Why would she step out of a room? If it were me, I would be hiding in the closet or get the F out of there. Absolutely, Ink Mama. I would be like, I'm out of here, right? Or I'm hiding. No one can find me. I mean, where did she see this alleged firecracker, this firework. Where is it even possible from her room? Is it? Yes, Phoenix. Check it out at True to It. Let me take a peek at True to It. I mean, this psychological wild stuff. Murphy. Let's see. Murphy. I have not seen it. I'll have to go and look at it. Murphy. I would love to be able to see. And I know people have the ability to do cards and stuff like that, but I think Murphy, I think they trimmed him. I think they trimmed him. I think they cut him and trimmed him and bathed him and did everything. I think she sees the Sensi light when it smashed on the floor. Well, somebody had to have been in that room. Somebody had to have been in that room. Had to be. Had that room. Was in that room. Okay, so I do too. I believe they trim Murphy. I've said it from day one when I saw Murphy walk out of the house on the camera. I believe they trimmed him, bathed him, clipped him, whatever. Bathroom floor where they trimmed and bathed Murphy. Possibly. The jacket hanging up and the white shoe look like the guy that looks like Ethan on 1330 was wearing in that room. Interesting. Wow, that is very possible. Now, if we look at this and, the survival action, come to my room, run down here, Bethany was in control of Dylan. Bethany is the one that says, okay, let's stay together, move locations, and get to safety. And maybe that's how they did survive. But Bethany was the one that called Dylan first. Bethany was the one that said, okay, let's do this. See, these texts, allegedly, we're told in the court documents, happen around 4:22 to 4:24. That's less than 2 minutes. Compared to the time of the murders, they say it was between 4 and 4:20. Well, where were they at 4 instead of 22 minutes later, texting for 2 minutes? Where were they? They waited 20 minutes? That's a massive gap. And then they don't call 911 till 11:58 a.m.? Huge gap. If they were this scared, why did they not call 911 immediately? What exactly did Bethany see? Because it's more vague. It is vague who it was. Although the only vague part that is not vague anymore is mask, covered face, specific clothing, and some panic language. And that, to me, suggests fight or flight. And that's a perceived threat. Who is he? He has something over his head, his face, his eyes. That person clearly, Dylan says it's a male. And Bethany says, no, it looked like Xana in black. She saw a person that she thought was Xana, or was it Xana? It's not just shadow or noise. It's a person. And that's one of the strangest lines ever. Xana was wearing all black. Why? Was she seen alive? Was someone mistaken for her? Was Bethany just remembering maybe what happened 20 minutes prior? So here's the deal. If these texts are in the file and they're deemed accurate by a judge's signature, we didn't get to see the whole, Cellbrite data. That's why I said I would love to be able to see Dylan's data. I would love to see Dylan's data. It's not mathing. If I just saw one of my housemates in black and then know it's like a ski mask and they're thinking that this was Xana when it was actually some male, I mean, Xana's not that tall. Xana doesn't look like a football player to me. And I think Anne said this is a cherry-picked snippet of how many texts they actually made. Yes, they picked the ones they wanted, but they say this only happened in 2 minutes and, something seconds. So this is what these texts suggest that they cherry-picked. That awareness of danger in real time, saw this masked person, let's just leave it at that, and they had some fear. But it also raises timeline conflicts, response delay questions, and then what happened after those texts when Dylan runs down to Bethany's room at Bethany's suggestion or demand. See, because here's the deal. 2 roommates texting in fear, describe a masked man just minutes after the murders. And here's the real question. What did they know and when did they know it? If you saw a masked person in your house, would you call 911 instantly? If it's you and let's say a sibling or daughter or friend or somebody else in another room in the same house, would you call 911? Or would you call them and compare notes to what you saw? Yeah, ringing both parents, allegedly. We see from Dylan that she was surfing the internet, posting pictures. I mean, logically, you would call 911, run to the neighbors, do something. And let me ask you a question, chat. You guys are some of the most intelligent people that comes into this nest. Do you think that these texts sound like confusion or even real fear? Yeah, Brian rings his mother and is deemed weird. And yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I fell asleep while I was waiting to find out if anything happened. Right? Why didn't they call their trusty friends immediately like they waited so many hours? Why did they not call Hunter and all their trusting friends immediately? Which I still think is sketch. Nothing weird. Nothing weird about Xana was wearing all black because she was that day. Bethany and Dylan was confused. Saw Xana, not a stranger. Okay. Think about it. What do you think Xana wearing all black means? What do you think it means? Some people say that she was already gone. Was it code? Was it code? Could have been. Could have been. Blacked out. Nothing ever happens. I agree. Interesting. Totally fake. It's not weird. People call their mothers still nowadays. I don't know why people think it's so weird. It sounds coded. Anything's possible. I agree. So they can't be answering that it might have been Xana unless they have extra messages between them. Absolutely. Wearing all black isn't weird. I agree. But why did Bethany clearly say Xana was wearing all black? She assumed that this individual that she had to have seen was wearing black. So who did Bethany see? Who did Bethany see? Because, and here's where I'm going to drop it. Get ready for the fireball. Get ready. Where's my fireball noise?
Phoenix launches truth in blazing spheres, burning lives, dispelling all fears. Feel the blaze of unyielding light. Truth erupts, torches the night.
All right. If Bethany is telling Dylan Xana was wearing all black, and Dylan is saying, no, it's like a ski mask. The guy is about my height, definitely a dude. And then Bethany is saying Xana's wearing all black. She's describing a female. She is describing a female that looks like Xana. She thought she saw Xana. That is a guy and a girl. A guy who looks like a basketball player, somebody that looked like Xana that was wearing black. There you have it. Bethany mistook someone that looked like Xana. And there you have it. She probably saw a female perp and a male perp. Two people. Two. Bonnie and Clyde. Now, I don't know what two people, but there you have it in these messages right there. It didn't take me too long to go down this rabbit hole and try to figure out what they were talking about. But there was one tiny bit of the piece of the puzzle that made sense. When the cop said, now the other day I left the stream with a simple, logical discussion. Could this have been a murder-suicide? Could this have been? The cop was told it was. And then when he looked, he said, there's no possible way. I left you guys on a hook. And the reason I left you on a hook was to think for yourselves, go back and watch and read the documents. Read them. Look at them. Don't let anybody deceive you guys. It's important. If I get information wrong, I get information wrong. It's not like I'm trying to blatantly lie to you. You guys are my community. I would never do that. I'm not trying to clickbait you. I'm just saying what they don't want you to know was that somebody was going to read the documents and figure it out or just try to understand what happened in this case. What happened? What happened? And how did Molly know, the DoorDasher, how did Molly know that this girl had brown hair when she didn't even know? She says the girl with the brown hair was in the bathroom. How did Molly know that was the third floor bathroom? How did Molly know that? That's my question there. So, we don't know. We don't know if there was anything under Kaylee's nails. We've never seen the reports. We don't know the DNA under Xana's nails. Still don't know. They never let out what was under Ethan's nails, if anything. And there it is. And you can have your own opinion. Everyone can have their own opinion here. But I left you on a hook last week to see if anyone would look to see if this was a murder-suicide. You have to look at every angle. And tomorrow, I'm going to share with you, it might be a longer stream, I'm going to share with you why I don't think this was a murder-suicide. And there was one hidden word in the autopsy that made it make sense. There's a lot going on in this case, folks. All we know is 4 college-age, off-campus students found unalive in their house. They didn't even live together long, 3 months. And what the hell happened at 1122 King Road? Drop your thoughts. Love on my mods. I did, in fact, put a post up that I am looking for a few mods. So I'm looking for mods. Definitely text me or email me. I put it up on the post. You can go and read the post. And there's a couple of people who have sent me emails. Guys, I am about 160 emails behind in the last few days. I am trying to get there as soon as I can. And I haven't seen our winner of the birthday giveaway. If anyone sees her around, message me, okay? Because I need to, there's something wrong with an item that can't be shipped to the address you gave me. So I need to get that fixed right away. So do me a favor, love on my mods, show me some love. And I appreciate every single one that sticks up for me and says, wait a minute, Phoenix is the GOAT. I appreciate you all. Do we know if Molly McMichaels is still alive? I'm not sure. That's a great question. Fantastic question. Another perp, a possible female. Absolutely. Remember from the DNA that they said that there was a possible female? I think, in my humble opinion, Bethany saw the female perp downstairs and the upstairs perp went through Kaylee's door. In my humble opinion. Why does Kaylee's death certificate say no? I've never seen it. The family has access to that. Have no idea. No idea. I'm just looking at official documents, court records, videos releasing evidence. And Molly said she saw a female with light brown hair on the 3rd floor window. What 3rd floor window? The only window there facing is the window in between the bathroom and Kaylee's windows. I said that was Dylan in the sink washing off. That's why she's ducking. Possible. I don't know. I'll look into that one. No, she was 19 years old and what was that? You know what? Let me do 5 minutes of Q&A. I will share everything, whatever question that you have that I know that, I mean, yes, Dylan was 19. They didn't get her for drinking or anything like that, but she just celebrated her 21st whenever. She's 21. So I guess, how did she live off campus? It was said that she was approved to live off campus. That's all I know about that. She was allowed to live off campus. I'm assuming it was the bathroom window. Got it. The restroom sink. Okay, that makes sense. That sounds plausible. Absolutely. If Molly said she saw somebody in the 3rd window, the whoever interviewer probably could tell him, oh, that was the bathroom. Was Dylan an actual U of I student? Allegedly, yes. Yes. We need to check into that. Susie Littleby, check into what? Let me see. I'll go back and listen to and look at the interview. Yeah, allegedly she was. And I want to know what that note from the sorority was that was on the 2nd floor that they confiscated. I would love to know that. I would love to know that. And keep in mind, I will respond to my emails. I'm just about 160 emails behind. Or she was placed there. Possibly. Possibly. Anything is possible in this case. We should check into those 2 questions. All right, Little B, I will. I sure will. Dina, you emailed me last night. Okay, perfect. All right, everyone, drop your question below before I go. I'll give you like 2 more minutes and then show my mods a lot of love, please. Shout out to Amanda and Caleb. Do we know? Okay, Susie Littleby, I've got 2 questions. Do we know if Molly Michaels is still alive? And what was your other question, Susie Littleby? Let me see. Diddy Two Cheeks. I like your name. If they were saying that there was post-mortem wounds, how would it not? I know. We don't have the times of autopsies, but I'm going to tell you exactly I'll show you. I think I have it up still. Let me show you exactly what the expert said. And this is the reason it is the way it is. I've pointed this out before. Now, I'm pulling up the autopsy. They have all the pictures. Let me share this one. Let me get back over to the stream. Hold on. All right. They have got all the autopsies here. And let me tell you, the order of autopsy is the order they died. Kaylee died, and it says autopsy 2. There is 1 missing. And I've said this from the get-go. 4 dead, 1 taken to the hospital. Who was taken to the hospital? We may never know. We may never know. But all the documents line up to Kaylee was the first one to pass on. Then it was Maddie, 3. Then it was Xana, 4. Then it was Ethan, 5. Okay, that was the order of passing. And the reason they say that, and if you go down to the actual document in the autopsies, it will tell you that Kaylee was first and then Maddie. It says it in the documents. And I will put that one up on Justice for All. I will put that. That's why the parents didn't drive to 1122. It's very possible. We could speculate that they had already known she was gone. Okay. Thank you, because they're both important. Kaylee's death certificate. Okay, got it. I've got both of them. Yeah, Dylan was a sophomore. She was in there. Yep, it does say that. All right. Kaylee taken to the hospital, and that's why. No, I don't think she was taken to the hospital. If anything, victim number 1 was taken to the hospital, yet we still don't know who that was. There was a female with red liquid on her mouth and a dude in a ski mask on that anonymous Yik Yak. Oh, yeah. Was Josie and Lyndon's DNA and fingerprints taken? I don't know. We can look through the reports, but I don't remember seeing them. Like I said, they didn't do interrogations. They did interviews with these kids. And they only interviewed Dylan a lot more times than anyone else. Was there an unidentified compound in the tox report? No, they've only told us Adderall and alcohol. That was it. Let me show you guys one video that I'm going to... This is wild. This just blew my mind when I watched this video. I did a short... Let me grab it. I want to get your guys' feedback on this. I was like so mortified. I was mortified, okay? Here it is. What is this sound that we all hear? I know people told me before what they hear. So we just saw Captain Lanier suggest looking inside dumpsters. Let's look at the official press release from the Moscow Police Department in regards to what they found in dumpsters. On November 22nd, 2022, this press release stated, oh, side note, the PD said that these victims were not bound and gagged. However, they did locate 3 dumpsters for possible evidence. Have we ever seen what possible evidence they were able to obtain? Does anybody know what that was hitting the stairs? I never physically saw the gurney go inside. Did anybody? That's what I thought. And I just wanted to get other people's feedbacks. Now, I know they had shoes on, they had booties on their feet. It sounds like they were just dropping the bodies against the stairs. Like they, like when you're carrying furniture, one's taller and one's shorter on the other side when you're walking down the stairs. I never saw a gurney go inside the house unless they redacted it. Never seen, it sounded like a suitcase, right? And this is the weird thing. There is no gurney. They just take it and they put it off to the side. Was it a suitcase? Was it a suitcase of all their stuff? Because there's this other guy, Gideon, or whoever this guy is here, standing here. Who knows who that is? And then he turns around and he gives him some, don't be filming us or something. And then they redact the hand gesture or whatever. He looks pretty ticked off. It wouldn't be blacked out if it was a suitcase. A shop vac? I mean, this doesn't look like they were removing bodies. It looks like this guy is the cleanup crew. They took possession of something. And let me show you something in regards to my video about Captain Lanier. This is going to blow your mind. I was going to save it for another stream, but you guys are so faithful to be here. Captain Lanier, okay, basically says that, he went to go look at the dumpsters. I know, look at his face, right? It looks like cleanup crew to me. I mean, in my humble opinion, yeah, Gideon was there. It had better been a suitcase. I agree. Why would they black out a suitcase, though? They kept the gurney outside the door, and that's why I played this slow, watched him. He was pissed when he knew that the camera was facing them, like he was watching what they were doing, like caught in the act type of crap. Now, I'm going to show you a picture I got. This picture was in the news saying this was in relation to all the dumpsters and that they had to go and find 3 dumpsters and, Captain Lanier and the dumpster crap. So anyways, I started looking at the videos from the dumpster, right? And yeah, sure enough, they were out there. They were trying to get, the guys to hold off and don't dump these yet. We need to get all these dumpsters because Captain Lanier went over to the dumpsters. He says something under his breath, and then he says, God, I'm going to get a lot of comments for this, or I'm going to get land blasted, or whatever you want to hear him say. But something caught my eye, and I'm going to take your comments off the screen for a second. There is a white GMC truck in this picture. Does everybody see that white GMC truck? It kind of looks like the same one that pulls up and says, hey, dude, we're going to take possession of something, right? I don't know if you guys have been following this to the T, but a white truck right behind this mobile unit that they have parked outside. comes up and says, we're going to take possession of something, kind of like what we did in the military, kind of like back in Afghanistan or something to that. And it's plain, it's pain. And I'm thinking, what are they going to get in land blasted for, right? So then I start noticing this GMC white truck all over the place that's parked out there with Idaho plates. And then the next scene that I see from the aerial footage, or whoever took this picture of them going out to the dump with 3 dumpsters of a bunch of trash that they are going to have to sift through. And I think to myself, you know, they show the picture of them sifting through the trash, all these guys. Okay. And then I noticed this one thing about this screen picture that was shared by the local news. This was definitely by the local news. That truck just looks like it's just parked out there, normal, everyday, routine activities, right? We've seen this truck around a lot of places. And then guess what truck is following the dumpsters? Guess what truck that's following the dumpsters? That same freaking truck in all these pictures. That same freaking truck. Somebody in that area had to been clued in on what was going on. Is that the same truck that was following the girls that night? I don't know. I mean, I can go over to Connor on IDAHO4 and let me go and look at the bank picture. I think it's then they're walking down and the truck is pulling out. Let's see if we can see it. Just one of those things that I thought, I'm going to go look into this. Let me just dig a little deeper. It was the security camera, I think, on the cafe, wasn't it? There was a security camera. What did you tell Adam? I think that's dubbed over in my opinion, but who knows? What did you tell Adam? I told Adam everything. Adam. I don't see this picture. Hold on a minute. Maybe somebody else has it. The picture of the white truck. White truck, IDAHO4. The same one. Is that the same one that, hold on. That's behind. Ooh. Is that the same white truck in the alley? Who is that? Hold on a minute. Let me see whose truck this is. There's like 4 videos of this white truck going around everywhere. Whose truck is this? Is this the same GMC? Someone told me it was a GMC. Is that the same truck that could possibly be this truck? Parked out in front of, holy shit. Holy. Let me go over to Jules. Hold on a minute. She's got the actual raw footage. Hold on. She actually has it. I just thought of that. Is that after that guy parks? Was it about 1 o'clock in the morning? Who was that? Was it 1 o'clock in the morning? Hold on a minute. Let me grab it. It's got to be. It's got to be that same GMC that parks and walks into this house. Remember, I showed you the truck pulls up. There's the truck. Is this the GMC that backs in? Pig busted. It is a GMC. So whoever, if this is the actual GMC, he pulls up, backs in, backs in. Is that the GMC? Now remember, this is all silenced footage. It's not the same truck. Same white truck in the video. There's a lot of white trucks. I know that. This truck doesn't look jacked up that much. Not at all. I'm going to go to a daytime video and see if that truck is still there. No wonder why everyone keeps talking about black trucks. They didn't want us to focus on the white truck. Bing, 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 bing. I saw Hunter have black zip ties on his wrist in the video, and they went to the black patio for the noise. Yeah, opposite. Totally opposite. Now, this guy gets out and walks over there. Remember I showed you that clip of the grub truck? Someone told me that was Hunter. I don't know if it is or not. I'm just saying I don't know. But this one has a sunroof. This guy gets out, walks over, goes inside of this residence. The light shines on his face. Watch the way he walks. Here it comes. I have to slow it down because they have done some trickery with this so you don't see him. But watch. Walks up. The light goes on. Right there. Right there. Some freaking trickery. It had an 8-foot lift. I've got a GMC expert. I'm going to ask him if he thinks that that is the GMC. Possible. I'm going to try to stop it right at that light. Now, if this individual, if and only if that this truck is now parked over here on this side of the street, when this occurs, look, parked right there on the street, right here on the street, and is in going to the dump with the cops, that has got to be an undercover cop. That has got to be an undercover cop, in my humble opinion. There are 2 trucks parked on, yes, there is. There's 2 trucks parked at 1112 or 1118, if you want to say that. That truck is spotted going out to the dump with the cops. I don't think that's weird. I don't think that's weird at all. But I'll get my expert to look into this. That's not the GMC. Look at the handles in the truck with the chrome. The white handles has one black. Looks a little lower. That one looks lifted. Is it this one then? Is it the one parked in the parking spot? I'm going to go and grab a video during the day and let's see if that truck is the same truck in daylight. Let's just see. I mean, we could be wrong. We could find something interesting. I like our field trips. If you like our field trips, drop a 1. Drop a 1. I'm going to go and look for this truck in the morning, early morning, to see if this truck is the same truck. Let's see. Let's just check it out. Just for shits and giggles. How about that one today? Right? It's not letting me share it. Hold on 1 second. Share this one. Right. Morning time. This is at, this one looks like it has some chrome on it. Let's see. Could be worth looking at. Maybe it was just a cop that parked there, or who knows. Let me grab this. This is daylight time. And this looks like the truck has extended mirrors, kind of. I'll get my Chevy guy on it. This one looks like it's got thing on the back, thing on the sides. I'll ask him to do some comparisons. I'll send him all the pictures and the video. I saw the one. What about the truck leaving? Well, I don't know when this truck actually leaves. That doesn't look like a GMC there. And when did this other GMC leave? I wonder if these are different days of this scene. Interesting. And that GMC truck following it. Whoops. GMC on the back. It looks like it's got extended mirrors too. Does have Idaho license plate right here. Huh, I wonder who it was registered to. Well, I've got some digging to go. So I'll tell you what, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is 11/11. Be here. Show my mods a lot of love. I appreciate everyone's comment. And thank you so much for being here, looking for truth and evidence. And do me one big favor. I know I don't ask a lot, but I just want you to keep an open mind. Because like I said, we're here for the truth. No shortcuts, no blind trust. Thank you for being a part of Phoenix Talk. Stay curious and stay grounded. Be well.
The file was cold, the leads long dead. Winter's chill had settled in the bone. Another name unsaid. A silent statue, blind and made of stone. But thawing ground gives way to sleeping roots. A whispered tip, a forgotten clue, dusting off the long forgotten suits, a single thread to pull the story through. The spring equinox brings the scales to bear. Justice marches, truth takes to the air. From frozen silence, triumphant sound, the verdict's written on the waking ground. The